Thumbelina. There once lived a woman who wanted a child. One day she asked a nice fairy for help. The fairy gave her a magic sheet. Carefully well, and you will get your wish, the fairy says. The woman planted the seed in a pot of soil. She made sure it got lots of sun and water. Soon the seed grew into a pretty yellow tulip. Inside the tulip was a beautiful girl. She had silky yellow hair and sparkling green eyes. She was no bigger than the woman's thumb. I will call you Thumbelina, said the woman. Every day, Thumbelina would help her mother with the chores. Thumbelina would sing while they worked. Thumbelina loved to sing. She had a beautiful voice. Thumbelina and her mother were very happy. One day, a frog heard Thumbelina singing. He decided he wanted to marry her. That night, the frog hopped in, through the window. He took the walnut shell where Thumbelina slept. The next morning, Thumbelina woke up. She was trapped on a lily pad. She didn't want to be the frog's bride. He was slimy, and all he said was "Ribbit, ribbit, ribbit." Thumbelina cried and cried. A fish heard Thumbelina's cry. He felt sorry for her. When the frogs were looking, the fish sailed through the stem of the lily pad. The lily pad began to float away. Thumbelina thanked the fish and waved goodbye. She flew downstream and looked for a new home. Soon she came to a village of water beetles, where they were not very nice to a little Thumbelina. "Look how ugly she is," the beetle says. "She had only 2 legs and no wings." Thumbelina did not stay long with the mean beetles. She went down the river again until she came to a green field. Thumbelina spent the one summer in the field. She ate nectar from the flowers and water from the buttercups. She was happy. Summer turned into fall. It began to get cold. A friendly field mouse invited the little girl to live in her warm home. Thumbelina happily said yes. Soon she met Mr. Mole, who lives nearby. Mr. Mole wanted to marry Thumbelina, but Thumbelina did not want to marry Mr. Mole. He lives underground. If they married, Thumbelina would have to live underground too. She did not like that idea. In the middle of the winter, Thumbelina met a sick swallow. She loves birds with all her heart. She took care of the bird until it got better. Would you like me to fly you away from here?" the swallow asked Thumbelina. "Then you won't have to marry Mr. Mole." "Oh, yes," said Thumbelina. She climbed into the swallow's back, and off they went. They flew high over forests and lakes and mountains. Thumbelina held on tight. They landed in his nest at the edge of the meadow. The meadow was warm and filled with pretty flowers. "I will live in my nest," said the swallow, "and you can live in one of these flowers." The swallow flew her over to the prettiest flower in the meadow. In the center of the flower stood the handsome fairy king. He was tiny, just like Thumbelina. He had wings on his back and a crown on his head. The king fell in love with Thumbelina. The two were soon married. All of the other flower fairies came to the wedding. Thumbelina and the king lived happily ever after.